So, throughout the semester, if you have watched these videos regularly, you've kind of noticed the same format every week, right? First, you have a pithy greeting like this. Then I follow it up with a funny GIF that may or may not be appropriate for what I'm saying due to the fact that my brain is kind of wired differently than most. Once you see that and I say something about it, I then move to the Brightspace announcement. So here it is. I'm telling you when it's for. I'm telling you right now, there is no late work. No late work. Both the research paper and the presentation are due no later than 11:59 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, July 26th. That's it. The semester ends at that time. There will be no late work. There will be no late submissions. There will be zeros if you do not turn it in. I even highlighted again down here to make sure. No extensions, no excuses, no exceptions. Everything within the announcement is very clear, okay? And then here's the video chapter listing, here's what you should be reviewing to make sure that you are in the best shape possible, including the Unit 3 directions and sample document that I've given you, the PowerPoint sample, which we're going to go over in this video, and then pretty much everything else that you might need to do the oral presentation. Again, it is due by Sunday, July 26, 2026 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. That is not Monday, July 27th at any time. It is not Tuesday, July 28th. It is not Wednesday, July 29th. It is Sunday, July 26th. Anything after that will be a zero. You have the argumentative research paper, which is worth 25% of your grade. You have the oral multimedia presentation, which I believe is worth like 7% of your grade. So these two things right here, literally, zeros in them will fail you. I don't care what grade you have right now. You could have 100 right now, and they would still fail you if you get zeros. Here's the sample again. Here's the sample again. Tells you exactly what you need. And also, we have the course evaluation. So make sure to do it for any courses you're taking. We do take them seriously. So take a look and read that, all right? And then once we get through the announcement, I go back and click on the main page and say, hey, look, over here is the view the course schedule to be a little bit more detailed. We click on this link here. We get to here. I scrolled all the way down already to week 10. There it is. You have 6 things to take a look at, which we will actually review maybe 2 of them. And then your 2 assignments right here. Again, look, semester ends on Sunday, July 26th. That's it. That's all she wrote. Game over, man. Game over. So that's kind of what you should expect from everything, right? But we have something else now. Hi. So what I wanted to do this week is to kind of bring you into the world with my lovely hair. Okay. I wanted to kind of show you exactly what we're going to be talking about and why. Because this is me. This is the guy you've been hearing all semester long. This week's schedule is all about oral presentations. And I think it's rather important that we chat a little bit about the concept without bogging ourselves down in the material from this week. Now, don't get me wrong. It's just as fine as always. But I think we can do a little bit better with the idea of a presentation just by going over them quickly and focusing on the sample that I made for you. You're also probably wondering why I'm putting myself in the video for the first time. Well, that's a good question. I did it because you have to decide if this is something that you are comfortable with, something you're willing to do for your final presentation, which again is due Sunday, July 26, 2026 by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. There's no asking for extensions. There's no exceptions. There's no excuses. The semester literally ends at that time, and I can't accept anything late. So there is no day after. But the reason why I'm asking you to kind of put yourself in the video, even a small little window in the bottom like this. Hi, look at that. Okay? That way you can see everything on the screen and you can still see me in the corner, but I kind of like it this big right now, at least to talk to you. I want this from you because you are an online asynchronous class. I have no idea what any of you look like. If you walked up to me in the hallway and said, hey, I had you for the summer class, I'm going to have to take your word for it. But if you actually record yourself like this, I'll be able to say, yes, I recognize you. Okay, great. So at the very minimum, I'm going to hear your voice. But if you want to exceed expectations, that's when you put the video in, okay? So in this presentation, you can turn your camera on and you can present those visuals, which I really hope you do. Because honestly, I want to see who you are. All right. So regardless, I'm at least going to hear you, but I want to be able to see you as well. All right. So let's turn that off and go back to what we're supposed to be doing today. What are you going to be presenting? Well, we discussed it last week, but let me tell you again that it's a smart idea to look through the announcement I sent this week. Oh, what's that? That's this announcement. Everything we talked about last week is right here under review, including all of these YouTube videos that they wanted you to take a look at, which you can or you don't have to. Effective visual aids, using technology to present information. All that information is right there from this week and last week. Everything that you need is right here, ready to go, okay? And to remind you, you need to have a video that is 5 to 7 minutes long. It must feature visuals of some sort. Now, you can use PowerPoint, or you can use Google Slides, or Canva, or Prezi, or any other equivalent software. But it must hit on the 5 bulleted points brought up in the requirements, and it must illustrate the scope of your research that you did for your paper. What are those 5 bullet points? Well, if we click on this, we get to hear, oh, look. There are the 5 bullet points right here. And above that, which I will show you again later, we have the sample presentation, which again, I will show you. Everything you need is right here, 5 bullet points. These 5 things must be mentioned in your presentation, okay? So, what does this thing look like here? Here it is. And just to show you what it should look like if you have your video on, I'm going to turn my video back on. Hi. So I'm going to go through this PowerPoint presentation twice. And the first time I do it, I'm just going to show you what it looks like as a presentation, like how I would expect it to see in your video. The second time I go through it, I'm going to kind of pull the hood up and show you the engine and point out where certain elements are, okay? So the first spin through is going to be very, very quick. I'm just going to show you what it's supposed to look like, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper. So here we have our title page. It's got everything you need. This is kind of an in-joke with the Kevin Mitnick portion here. He was a very famous hacker, one of the very first big names in hacking. And because we're talking about cybersecurity, I figured, haha, it's kind of funny. But everything else here, again, it's just like your title page of your paper, okay? Now, what I do want to mention is the colors are awful. Yes, the colors are awful. They were not designed to be awful, but I have since turned them into a learning opportunity. They looked good to me on a small screen, but then when I projected it to my classes in class, the actual text was very difficult to read from the back of the room, okay? So really make sure that it looks good on your screen and it also can translate to other people. So if you're going to use a light text or a light background like this, use darker text, not like I did, green and less green. Like that's just terrible. So we go in and we start going. Now I use this design because it looked like computer chips to me. See, computer chips. But then once I start putting my material on here, it now comes up in some animations, which is just like on click, which is nice. But the text is very small. It's very difficult for people to read. So it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. And I am putting up the on-click animations, so it's not just, here's the text, read it, and let's go on, okay? Everything comes on when I want it to come on. I have images on every page, if you notice. That's to break up all the text. And here, this text is ridiculously small. Make sure it's not this small, okay? So these are the research questions that I had. Oh, look, my thesis statement. Great. So here we have that. It's easy to read a little bit, so that's nice. And then we get into our research recap. That's where I start to cite things. Yes, you must cite your research in here. Okay, make sure to put that in there. So I have that. I have more research. I have more research. I have 4 elements of argument here. Wait, come back. There we go. I have 1, 2, 3, and then here's my 4th argument point with my 4th piece of research. And note that the image spins in. You can play with that. Just don't have it continuously spin and break up, and it's going to go crazy and really be distracting. Then we go into our research recap. Here's my counter argument, my first, my second point. We have my rebuttal, my first point, my second point. And then we get into the interesting results of my research. I'm going to talk more about this in the next go through, but this is a very important slide to me. We have elements that I found to be really interesting while doing my research, finalized by the conclusion slide, the overall slide, which is the easiest to read because there's a black overlay. Okay, and you can see the white text very simply. That's something that you should probably look at, okay? Then we get into the all-important any questions slide. I understand that because you're not doing this live, what's going to happen is you're going to be talking into your camera. If you want to include your email address, that's fine. You can say, hey, if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me. I would recommend not putting anything that you don't want people to see, much like, a cell phone number. Don't do that, because you don't want some crazy person from your class saying, oh, we're friends now. No, don't do that. Then we have references. Our references, yes, they can be the exact same references as you used in your research paper. However, if you did not use every one of these references in your presentation, do not list them on the references slides. Only what you used in the presentation should be listed. And as you can see, I have 2 references slides before the end, okay? And that's what the presentation should kind of look like in play. But, didn't mean to do that. That's what I meant to do. Then we're going to get back to what the overall build looks like. As you can see, you can see the actual title slide here. And then down here under the notes page, I actually have notes, okay? So if you don't want to, if you want to see them, you're going to have to click on the view, and then there is the notes option right here at the top, and that should open or close this. That way, every slide that you see of mine will have an explanation as to what it's all about, okay? The animations that I use, the different text coming in, you can have all manner of things fly in and so forth. It's great, okay? So for this one here, you can use the, where is it? Animation pane? Is that? Yes. This shows you exactly kind of where it's going to go and in what order it's going to go in. It's really easy to do. If you have questions about this, please feel free to reach out and I will walk you through it. It's just very simple. But everything you need is right here. This is going to be the introduction slide, basically kind of showing you why you chose the topic as a whole, what's so important about this. You're laying the groundwork, basically. Here, you're kind of telling me your ethos, your background. Why are you the person to be discussing this? This slide, your 3 research questions. You've done those over and over and over. Put them on here and explain why, okay? And then here we have our thesis slide. That's very easy. Here we have our elements of research. I have my 1, my 2, my 3, and my 4, okay? Everything is in there. You must start to cite things at this point. So all the research will be there, no problems. And then we get into our counter-argument slide. Again, my 2 counter-argument points. It doesn't have to be 15,000 slides. Like, honestly, this is 14 slides total, and that includes a title slide, 2 references slides, and an any questions slide, which is 4 slides. So basically, if you take a look at it, from beginning to end, outside of the front and back matter, I have 10 slides, okay? Then we get into our research rebuttal, and we have our 2 elements there, followed by our interesting results of my research. This is when I want to find out what you found that you either A, didn't expect to see but did, B, expected to see but didn't, or C, a pat on your back to say, hey, I was really proud of myself that I was kind of ahead of the curve on this and I realized this before I was told, okay? So there's going to show you exactly why it's so important to do this research. Finally, your conclusion slide. It's fantastic. It just ties everything up at the end before presenting your any questions slide, as I talked about in the presentation, as well as the references themselves, okay? So you have access to this. You should be able to open it up in Google Docs if you do not have Microsoft PowerPoint. So all of that will work nicely, no problems. Yay, yay, yay. So I have to ask now, does that make sense? I mean, look, you got two choices. If it doesn't make sense, you can go back and review it and see if it makes sense this time, or you can email me, okay? If it does make sense, then you're in really good shape. Congratulations. Now look, the documents they have you reviewing for this week aren't necessarily the most helpful across the board. Yes, you can review the keeping your speech moving using transitions and signposts because that's transitions. But you know, we've already done that in the paper itself. So it's kind of worthless at this point. Citing sources in a speech is important, but honestly, you've already done that in the paper, so I'm not going to take up your time by doing that. Conclusions matter. We've already done that as you were writing the paper, okay? Honestly, the important stuff kind of falls down here because developing presentation skills is literally nothing more than a bunch of videos they want you to watch. You're going to get more out of my videos each week than just watching this one. I'm not saying I'm amazing, but you can at least see the delivery, the visuals, the overall preparation. It's the same thing they're asking. So let's go into the effective visual aids here, okay? There are a few really helpful links to show you how to set up your PowerPoint. There's some elements here that are really good and so forth. There's some visual aids right here, which are great. But honestly, the really good ones that are going to help you increase your skills in PowerPoint are under the confusingly titled PowerPoint presentation skills. Yeah, that title is really a bit obvious and on the nose, isn't it? So look, here are all these different links on how to do all this, and this is great. I actually use ScreenPal for mine. I think it's great. It used to be called Screencast-O-Matic. I bought it a while ago. I did the yearly subscription, and that means there's no watermark. You can do over 15-minute videos. You don't need any of that. You need a 5 to 7 minute video. It doesn't matter about the watermark. It's okay. You can use the PowerPoint in the background as I just did. So everything is working. PowerPoint's actually got its own recording software that they've installed. That's great too. All of that will help you right there. No problems. ScreenPal's free screen recorder is really all you need. But if you don't want to use that, that's fine. Just make sure whatever you use, I can open using a PC. If you are using a Macintosh, okay, an Apple laptop, an Apple top, whatever you want to call it, I need to be able to read it. I need to be able to read the file. I need to be able to open it. I need to be able to see it, okay, because I have a PC. And the school uses PCs, all right? So there it is. Now, the final page is the using technology to present information, which is this one here. And honestly, it's probably going to be the most helpful page of the entire semester. It shows you what to do with the Microsoft suite of programs. Oh, look, there it is. As well as the Google suite of programs, okay? It provides links to image depositories. So, I mean, you've got Google Slides and PowerPoint. But here are the links down here to Creative Commons images and sounds. That means things that you don't have to necessarily cite. So all of these really help. I actually get all of my animated GIFs through Giphy, and I probably should cite them, but I don't because, let's face it, this isn't going to go out into the world. It's going to be for you guys, and barely any of you watch these to begin with. So the screencast programs right here, which are free. Once again, I use ScreenPal. I quite enjoy it. Screencastify, Loom, iPad screen recording, if that's what you're going to do. That's fantastic. But if you do it, make sure that I can see it, because you need to upload it to YouTube. Don't just send me an Apple file, okay? And then when you share your presentation, again, the best thing to do is upload it to YouTube. Send me a link. There's no worries there whatsoever, okay? I would like you to attach the PowerPoint to your assignment, and then give me the link to the video, and everybody will be happy. It'll be wonderful. It'll be amazing. All right, fine. Okay. We're almost there. All right. So these are due by, well, let's just get right into it, shall we? Yeah, I messed that up. There's a bad transition and so forth. But here it is, right? Both the Unit 3 Argumentative Research Essay and the Unit 4 Argumentative Presentation are due by Sunday, July 26, 2026, by 11:59 p.m. Eastern. I cannot accept it late. I cannot accept it after that time. Any paper or presentation that will be submitted after that will receive a 0. This is probably the 6th or 7th time. Yes, I know, 6, 7. The 6th or 7th time I've said this video alone. You have no excuses, okay? So there it is. Get it in, get it done. Finally, the two big assignments. First is the argumentative research paper. You click on there, you can see exactly what you have been working on for about a month now, okay? Everything you need. Under structure and content, once again, I have linked the directions and sample packet. If you do not use this, I'm sorry to say it so bluntly and clearly, you are irretrievably stupid. I have given you the exact blueprint on how this paper should look, and how this paper should be organized, and what all the requirements are. Everything is here. If you skip over this, there's nothing I can do to help you. I've done everything I possibly can. I'm showing you exactly what needs to go here. Everything that you need is right here as well. 7 to 8 pages. It does not mean 7 or 6 pages and a half. It means 7 full pages of text, not including title page or references page. Okay? Please read over this. Please submit what you're supposed to submit. Okay? So that is going to be your Unit 3 paper worth 25% of your final grade. Once again, here is the rubric. I would take a look at that when your paper's done and see if you match up. That would be my recommendation. Then we have our final assignment of the semester, our Unit 4 oral multimodal presentation. Click on that, we get here, and once again, 5 to 8 minutes. Make sure that everything you have is there. If you can, make sure that you put the video here, okay? That way I can see what you look like. I can see that you're paying attention and you're not just some AI-generated person, okay? Oh, I'm going away again. And then I have the rubric here. It's, again, 70 points, which is 7% of your final grade. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's pretty much an entire grade level. So if you decide that you're not going to do this, I have a B. C is fine. Okay, great. Good luck for you. I have the presentation that we just went over twice, linked right here. Again, if you can't open it up in Microsoft PowerPoint, you can definitely save it to your desktop and upload it to Google Docs. You should be able to open it up. To make you happy, I have given you the 5 bullet points that you need to cover in that presentation right here as well. Use pictures for the love of God. If you give me nothing but text and a boring background, you're not going to do very well. Okay? Everything I want to see is right here. It's all you need to do. You've got this, okay? You've got this. For the love of God, you've got this. All right? And that's that, really. So, what do you think, right? That's it, my friends. It was a long semester. You've made it to the end. For probably all of you, this is the last English class you have to take. For the few of you who are looking at either English 122, which is technical writing and communication, or English 124, which is oral presentations, well, I don't teach them. See, you're damn lucky. Thanks again for all the time that you spent this semester trying your best. Those of you who put forth a lot of effort in your submissions, it made my life easier and it made you happier because your grades were better. Better papers are easier to grade after all. I hope that you have a great remainder of your summer. I hope you have a great fall, and I hope you are amazing. And I can't wait to watch you all walk across the stage at graduation. Good luck in your future courses. See ya.